Alright guys, so this is Mr. Muck, and he is talking about theme. So the camera angle for this video is very focused on the teacher. It's almost like an over-the-shoulder close-up hybrid. The way that the camera is positioned leaves out a great deal of the room, and many of the students that the teacher calls on in the video are not actually pictured. The camera does not move at all during the video, which is good in the sense that it keeps the watcher stable, but we're limited to this one shot of the room, and you can't really see what's going on in the rest of the scene. In terms of audio quality, I think the teacher in this video is obviously rather shy. He has his hands in his pockets on several occasions, and he speaks in a rather dull monotone. He seems nervous, which also impacts the audio quality. Because the camera is in the back of the room, his voice is affected by the rustling of backpacks, and I had to watch the video a couple of times to fully grasp what he was trying to convey. It is really hard to hear what the students are saying when they answer the questions. I don't know if it's because they're facing the front of the room, or because they're used to being really quiet, or whatever it is, they're not pictured in the shot. You can't hear the students, which I think really takes away from the overall effects of the lesson, in my opinion. So, I think that the effects of this video are pretty limited. There aren't really any graphics or extra sounds or anything. The PowerPoint, to me, looked pretty boring on first glance. It's pretty wordy, and his overall appearance is really off-putting just because he always has his hands in his pockets, and his gray shirt and his monotone altogether doesn't really leave the picture that he really wants to be in the classroom with his students. However, I did think that he did a pretty good job with engagement, which you will see here.
Theme. Tell me what a theme is. Alex. Moral of the story, what it's about. Moral of the story, what it's about. Anything else?
So, as far as engagement, the teacher asked students at the beginning of the lesson to see what they remember about theme, or what they already know about theme. Let them reach into their prior knowledge and see what they can pick out. I feel like this is an effective way to get students' minds on what they already know about a topic instead of just starting out with a new definition. The teacher makes the student reach back into their prior knowledge and start new learning about themes and how they can apply it to something that they have already read that semester. Not only does this new method bring back up what they read to make new connections about a subject, but it again allows the students the ability to reach into what they already know and can apply it to the subject. The teacher does not allow the students to really drift off in the lesson so much, which is good for engagement. He's constantly asking the questions and linking his lesson to previously read text.
First, we're going to talk about the Lord of the Flies. I'm going to kind of show you guys exactly how to follow this formula, and then you're going to do it with To Kill a Mockingbird. So, for the Lord of the Flies, what are some topics?
So one way that the teacher supported learning for the whole class is through the theme equation. Students who are more math-based or literal learners will gain more from an equation than the lecture. I'm also glad that he included some sort of group work at the end of his lecture, which you'll see towards the end of this video, so the kids can learn from each other and hear each other's opinions about things, which I also think is good for differentiation and keeping students engaged throughout the entire lesson. You don't have just lecturing, you have lecturing and group work, or group work and lecturing. So in terms of prior knowledge and personal knowledge, you mostly focus on the prior knowledge of a literary text that they've already read, which is The Lord of the Flies. And he allows the students to come up with themes in that novel in order for students to then transfer their knowledge to Kill a Mockingbird.
Notice what the title is. What is this? What is this? It's in italics. A lot of you guys didn't do that in papers. You need to italicize, and it's also the Lord of the Flies. Not just Lord of the Flies.
So if you can see here, he's kind of given them a template for them to fill in, so that he's not automatically making them come up with their own themes. However, I do think that he was wrong to reference what the students did wrong in their papers at this moment. I think that these things like titles and italicizing things should really be saved for student feedback. And I think they should have been addressed in feedback prior to turning in the essay, honestly. And I think that it has very little to do with theme. It gets them off subject, it gets them off track, and for me it was very off-putting. But I do think that giving them this template and letting them fill in the blanks with To Kill a Mockingbird and with Lord of the Flies is a really effective way of them writing a theme. I thought that the teacher did a good job letting students' responses promote thinking. I would really love to see the finished product of the activity that he does at the end here, which is at 8:40. Which is partner up with a student next to you, create a list of topics from To Kill a Mockingbird. So in conclusion, I think that this teacher needs to work on his overall classroom presence. I think that I would encourage him to come out of his shell a bit, smile a little bit more, and show the students that he's excited to see them, excited to be with them and learning. The overall presentation was really robotic, and I think that he would benefit from furthering his classroom community and having students really engage in the lesson instead of just keeping them engaged because they're worried that he'll call on them. I think that this lesson had a clear beginning, middle, and a formative assessment at the end. So I think that was really well done. I would say that the teacher included many formative questions to gauge understanding throughout the lesson, and that the partner activity at the end of the lesson is an effective way to appeal to a variety of students as well, and their different learning styles.